All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, wherever you are in this beautiful world. Welcome to our Inner Circle Live Tuesday morning session. I'm your host, Ryan Carthage. Hope everybody is having an awesome morning. I hope our week is off to a great start. I apologize before we get started, just apologize for the duplicate emails that went out. An error on my part. So might have caused a little bit of trouble, and I apologize there. But I am saying good morning to you from Nashville, Tennessee. I'm on the road this week. Got some things happening down here. So if you hear noise in the background, I got construction outside my hotel room. So hopefully you guys can hear me okay. As always, let's turn off all distractions, prepare your minds and your bodies to engage as you guys always do. And for the courtesy of everybody on the call, please ensure that your mic is muted if you're not actively asking a question or making a comment. All right. So real quick, as I'm getting everybody access to the microphone, drop me a one in the chat if you can hear me okay. Perfect. All right, cool. We got people popping in. Appreciate you guys. Again, I apologize for the duplicate emails that went out this morning. So let's get right to it. We'll hop into some fundamentals and then we'll dive into the charts. Get an overview of what is happening or what has happened so far this week and see if there are any setups in store for us this morning. So the top article here, Eurozone business activity returns to growth. The S&P Global Eurozone Composite PMI rose to 50.2 in January, pointing to its first expansion in business activity since June, and beating market consensus of 49.8 due to a rebound in services activity and a softer contraction in the factory production. All right. So then he talked about kind of some back and forth data that could be coming out, and this is it, right? Employment growth accelerated and business confidence posted the largest monthly increase since June 2020, while inflationary pressures eased, right? So Eurozone is seeing some positive activity, right? So we'll see how that lends to the ECB as they come into the monetary policy conversations in the coming weeks and months. So that's good news for the Eurozone there. Germany consumer morale recovers further. So we got a little bit of positive sentiment coming out of Germany. However, we had in the UK, that UK factory orders fall the most in 2 years, right? So we click in here. Confederation of British Industry order book balance slumped by 11 points from a month earlier to negative 17 in January 2023, the weakest since February 2021, and the worst in market expectations of negative 8, according to CBI's latest industry trend survey, right? So in the UK, they got things still slowing down, okay? Things still slowing down. UK business activity falls the most in 2 years, right? Same as there. So we got some back and forth happening here as data continues to come out. And we'll hop over to Forex Factory real quick, and we'll take a look at these numbers. So coming out of Europe this morning, right, the flash PMI for France was above expectation, but the services PMI was just below expectation. And then Germany, the largest country in the Eurozone, their manufacturing PMI was just a little bit short, but the services PMI was above, right? So back and forth there, but overall for the Eurozone, right, you had your manufacturing PMI just above the expectation, right? It ended that slump. And then you had your services PMI come in a little bit above expectation as well. All right. And then here is the the PMI data coming out of the UK, where you had the manufacturing PMI above expectation, but your services PMI dropped. All right, so interesting scenarios there, and this is that CBI industrial order expectation number here. That came in below the expectation there. All right, later on today, we have PMI data coming out of the United States at 9:45. Definitely keep an eye on that. Could give us some indications there, or more indication regarding what the Fed could potentially do moving forward. Then at 4:45 p.m. Eastern time, we have, actually, I'm sorry, I'm Central Time now, so these numbers are a little bit adjusted. 6:10. No, that's right. That's Eastern Time. Then you have the New Zealand dollar with the CPI quarter over quarter coming out at 4:45 p.m. Could also move the market a little bit. And then tonight at 7:30 p.m., you got the Australian dollar CPI data coming out. All right, so we want to keep our eyes on those data points as we move through the day to day. Okay. Do we have any questions from a fundamental perspective? No?
With the data coming out from the euro, would it overshadow the Canadian? Seeing that they the Canadian got news coming up.
They do have news coming out. That's tomorrow, right? So what you could see, it depends on how that data comes out tomorrow. But today, you could see that boost in the euro, right? And then tomorrow, and depending on where that pushes the market, but if it pushes into some key zones, we'll look to see how that data comes out for the Bank of Canada tomorrow. If they come out and increase those rates more, we could see the Canadian then gain some strength. So that Euro CAD, we'll take a look at it and see where it's sitting. But we could definitely see that now if the Bank of Canada comes in and either holds rates or has more of a dovish tone, then we could see that change. So that would be that variable there is what their tone is in that conversation. Cool. All right, sweet. So let's do it. Let's hop over to the charts. Any other questions before we hop into the chart? Cool. All right, sweet. So let's take a look at the dollar. Take a look at the dollar first. Let's all right, so we're still ranging on the DXY, right? We broke this daily support level. And we've just been ranging sideways, okay? We'll bounce out to the daily. Might add another level of support here, right? We see from a daily time frame perspective, we're just hovering at this 8.6 retracement level, right? Just inside of this support right here at 12,624, okay? And we'll see, right? That PMI data could push us in one direction or the other. But we could also continue to range here for a while, all right, until we get some more confirmation from the Fed on what their intentions are, right? If they intend to continue to slow like people want them to, then we could see this start to break these levels. Now, if we break these support levels, right, in this A boundary, then we could be looking at some flips, right? So if we run a sub-fib off the high, just to see where we sit, right? We're just inside this D extension. Actually, we might have hit that D extension. Yeah, so we've already hit this D extension here off of the sub-fib. So shortly we'll have a new AB boundary here on this sub-fib like this, right? So we're hovering at a new B boundary right here in line with really this A boundary of our primary or our capital fib, right? So what'll be interesting to see is how this PMI data comes out and how the market takes it, right? The market has been taking all the information that's come out so far from more of a bullish perspective. So you have your stock market continuing to rally in light of all the data that's coming out, right? So what we could see potentially, depending on how this PMI data comes out, is we could see a push down, right? Push down, take out that A and push into this 118, 127 zone, right? And that'll be kind of in line with a level of support. Let's see. We got a level of support sitting right here. All right. So that'll be that's our next level of daily support if this weekly support level gets broken. All right. So we'll want to watch this closely just to see how things move. Okay. Just to see how things move, to see if we get this retracement right now on the dollar, or if we start breaking these levels and push down even further. Okay. So we'll want to watch that closely. Give me 1 second, everybody. All right. So we'll watch this closely to see, right, how the dollar fares over the next couple of days and couple of weeks, right? Now, if we break back above this daily and this weekly, what's support now resistance, right? Then we're looking at that retracement to occur, right? But we got to get a breakout in one direction or the other, right? From the dollar's perspective. Okay, so that's the DXY. That's what we're looking at. So with that being said, right, we're starting to get a little bit of push up right now. So let's take a look at some of these dollar crosses to see where they fare and what's happening. And we'll also take a look at some of those Canadian dollar pairs and crosses as well. All right. So let's take a look at this Aussie dollar first. All right. Hold on 1 second. All right, so this Aussie dollar has been pushing to the upside, right? We got this indecision candle here, still been pushing to the upside. We got a weekly resistance here at 71,360. Right, so we want to see look at the daily time frame. Does this level hold, and do we start to get a bit of a retracement here, or do we continue to press into the 71,360 level? All right, so coming down to that daily time frame, we zoom out and take a look at where we sit, and we're sitting at an 8.6 retracement level, and we got a level of daily resistance right here. Okay, so we want to continue to monitor to see, does this level hold for us? Right? Does this level hold, or do we break and push up to take out the A? Right? The data today could give us that indication. Right? We're sitting at some indecision right now. Okay, so this is what we want to see. Do we break above, or do we come back down ultimately to the bottom of this range if the DXY pushes up further? All right, so coming down to the time frames, All right, we get down here to the 4. And had our fib taken out, so we'll run them here. Oops. I believe we're going to come from the top here. I'm going to come from the bottom. Yep. All right, so we'll run our fib from the bottom to the top. And this is where we sit here on the 4, right? We've got an 80-20 scenario and potentially, zoom in a bit, potentially a double top scenario here, right? Right at this daily resistance level. So if we stay below, right? If that PMI data comes out and it's above expectation, right? We could see this double top solidify and see price push down here, right? Because right now we got an 80-20 scenario here on the 4-hour time frame, okay? Got an 80-20 scenario with a potential double top. So that tells me to prepare in the event that the confirmation is getting met, right? So we're going to watch this. We're going to watch this one closely here as we dive down through the time frames and see what we have on the lower. All right, these are trend lines here on the 4-hour time frame. Okay. And I'm coming to this outermost point and not going there. I could go here, right, as far as my trend lines go. But with price pushing back to the top of that range, that tells me we could be range bound, right? So that's why I come to the outermost point of this move here, right? Top of the range, bottom of the range, back to the top of the range, we move to the outermost point. The only scenario that we shift that trend line to the outermost point, all right? So there are trend lines there on the 4-hour time frame. We drop down to the 1, right? We'll zoom out and take a look at where we are from a fib perspective. We'll run our fibs off of the low. Like so. Boom. Got some confirmation here on the 1, right? Another 80-20 scenario. I'm going to pull the cloud out for a second. We're going to look at that on the lower, right? We've got another 80-20 scenario. Shallow retracement. Price pushed into the 118 and 127 zone. And we're ranging a bit right now in this 118 and 127 zone. Okay, ranging a bit in this 118 and 127 zone. Okay, so we'll run our trend lines here on the 1-hour time frame as well. So one second. And then we got an inner trend line coming like this. All right. If you want to get more aggressive, you can with your trend lines. Give you another one running to the upside like so. All right. So we got a trend line here on the 1-hour time frame. Right. You want to be patient and wait on a break there. Okay. You want to be patient and wait on a break there. So that's where we sit from a 1-hour time frame. So we got an 80-20 on the 4-hour and 80-20 on the 1-hour. Now let's drop down to the 15 and see what we have. Okay, so I got the fibs running on the 15 here, right? And we also have an 80-20 on the 15-minute time frame. Okay, also got an 80-20 on the 15-minute time frame. So as we zoom in, right, we can start to prepare ourselves for potential entry. So we push in. So when we talk about the cloud breaks, right? We talk about those cloud breaks. You see here, we did break the cloud, but you see it's pushing sideways, right? You see the sideways push right here. So we look at this similar to a trend line break, right? If price pushes sideways through a trend line break, right, we don't take that entry. right? We consider that consolidation. So the cloud the same way, right? You're pushing sideways through that cloud. You see you got your Kumo, your cloud here ahead. You see it's pushing sideways as well. So that's an indication of consolidation. So we want to see a strong bearish breakdown of these support levels, right? And you see prices trying to pull back a little bit right now. So in this scenario, what I'm looking for here is a pullback into the cloud, right? If I get a pullback into the cloud, then I'm going to drop down on the 5-minute time frame also and take a look at this potential retracement, looking for a high price to potentially get short, right? So, and the reason again that I'm looking at that is we got confirmation on the 4-hour, the 1-hour, and the 15-minute time frame of maybe 20 scenario, right? So now I'm just waiting on my additional confirmations to be met, right? So let's take that out. I've already copied that fib, right? We copy this fib, and this is how we go from a higher time frame to one of the lower time frames. And you can do this from any, right? 4-hour to the 1-hour, 1-hour to the 15-minute, right? Here we're going 15 minutes to the 5-minute to look for a potential entry opportunity. All right. So copy that. We come down to the 5. Now we can monitor this 15-minute fib on the 5-minute chart, right? So what I want to do is I'm going to run a fib off of the high here, right? And you see we got an 80-20 scenario here on 5, right? So I'm looking for price to come back up into my sweet spot here, right? If I get a pullback like this, okay, I'll look for a potential entry opportunity here. Yeah, we might break the cloud here on the 5, but I'm looking at the larger move, the larger opportunity coming back here on the 15, right? You see how that pullback on the 5 puts us up into our sweet spot on the 15, on the 15-minute sub fib in the top of this cloud, right? So that's what I'm looking for here is a nice pullback to give me a high price, and then I'll be able to put my stop above my high, right? I'll be able to put my stop above my high and allow price to do its thing. So be patient here, nothing ready just yet. Wait to see how the market opens and see if we get this pullback here, right? Wait to see if we get that. We get that, and then that PMI data comes in. However it comes in, right? We could have some confirmation to get short there. Okay. So be patient on this and see if we get a high price and a high opportunity to get short here. All right. Any questions here on this Aussie CAD and what we're looking for?
Ryan, I do got a question.
Yeah, talk to me.
In comparison, and I guess maybe I'm just confusing myself. When we drop that fib, and then because I keep the cloud on and I take it off sometime. When it's above the cloud, like if it's above the cloud and it's in our sweet zone, I mean, does that kind of like contradict one another? If you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I feel you. So one thing to look for, right, is what's ahead.
The twist,
right?
Okay. Yeah.
So if we still have a bullish cloud, even if it's pushing up, but it's still a bearish cloud, even if it's starting to move up. Let me see if I can draw this in. Right. So even if we have a bearish cloud, and it starts to come like this, but stays bearish, right? And we don't get a twist of any sort, there's still a bullish cloud, right? It's just showing that retracement happening. Now, if you see this cloud twist, then we want to wait again for price to break back below with a bearish cloud. You follow me on that?
Yeah, I follow you because sometimes I be hesitant on whether or not if it was a pullback to a cloud or it's going to break back above it and continue up.
Yeah, for sure. And then too, right? In this scenario, this cloud, well, on the 5 minute, you'll see a break of the cloud, but here we might just push back into the cloud like this, right? And now we're still sitting inside the cloud with that bearish cloud ahead. And
Okay.
your Tekinson and your Kijinson also may not have crossed back over either, right? So that's
Right.
another, those same confirmation points, right? If you're not getting that Kumo twist, that TK crossover, right? That's still telling you got some bearish momentum potential, right? It's just a push back into the cloud and a retest of previous levels. Make sense?
Okay, but no, yeah, because I started paying attention to like the end of the cloud, because it does turns up and turns down as if it's moving averages, like how when you got the black lines at, and it just confused me. And I was trying to take a second entry, and I was like, I'm just gonna leave it alone, because when it get to this point, I do wait for it to go back down the cloud, but then I also trying to figure out to take advantage of getting that extra them extra pips ahead. So okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. And then too, right? You even with your stop loss as you're managing that, right? Just calculate it. But how I do it in these scenarios is to place it. I have a previous high here that I entered on, and we're looking at something like that. I'll just place it above the fib high is where I place my stop, right? To really keep it relatively tight, so I'm not over leveraging there, right? So that's how I look at that. Cool.
Yep. Thank you.
Any other questions here on this Aussie dollar?
It may come higher too, because it looks like you have it. What is that pattern called?
The crown pattern potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could, or we could see a shallow crown. So let's see what we got. All right, took out the previous low, comes up like that, right? Could potentially come higher, right to that left tip. Could come a little shallow, but somewhere in that range, right? So yeah, good eye there. Good eye there, damn it. Appreciate that. Right? So look for that, right? So that's additional confirmation too. If we get that right tip to form, right? And we got price pushing into that cloud, we still got a bearish cloud ahead, 618 retracement. We got a lot of things coming into those zones there, right? So, and then we have to monitor that PMI data, right? I have to monitor that PMI data. If it comes in decently above the expectation, we could see the market emotionally react and cause this to push in favor of the dollar. So we'll watch that. We'll watch that closely. Okay. So that's the Aussie dollar. Let's take a look at the pound dollar. And this one has already started to turn over because of that negative, lower than expected data coming out of the UK, right? So here we got this double bottom. This double top at this weekly resistance level, right? Swing high hasn't fully formed yet, right? We're pushing down now on the daily time frame, pushing down. So we want to see if this continues to turn and push, right? We want to see if that continues to turn and push, right? But 50% retracement, double top scenario forming there on the daily. And we drop down here to the 4, and we got an 80-20 scenario here on the 4, double top right in that 118, 127 zone, right? So we got some action here. Again, keep our eyes on to see how the market responds, right, to the data that comes out and how that data comes out, right? Because we could see this continue to press down to the bottom of this range and potentially start to break those if the dollar goes into that retracement phase, all right, and breaks out of that range. So double top in that 118 and 127 zone on the 4, right? 50% retracement on the daily. We come down here to the 1, right? We see prices already turning over, and we see that double top a little bit more clearly here, right? We see that double top a little bit more clearly here. We weren't able to break out to the upside, and now we're pushing back down. And we zoom in on the end of this move, right? And this was the range that price was in. Okay, this was the range that price was in. You got a crown pattern that formed in there as well, right? And you see price trying to break out of this range. Price is trying to break out of this range, right? So it's at the bottom of the range now. That's the full range there, okay? Price is trying to break out. You have a reversal pattern. Oops. The center point is a little bit off, but bang, right? Crown reversal pattern there. So signal that price is changing direction, right? So now looking for price to continue to move to the downside. We could be in for a pullback before that, potentially. We'll see. If we get a bounce and then a continuation, but ultimately that's the move there to the downside, right? Let's measure this. This is on the 1. Matching the extension off of the crown. It's a 618 retracement level, matching the extensions at 122,460, right? 122,460. So that was on the move to the downside already. That's our break of the trend line. Let's see if we get a pullback for entry opportunity here, right? We'll look on the lower time frames and see what the cloud looks like. But that's a beautiful setup there, right? And if you run your trend line here, you'll see that trend line break clearly. All right. So you're in a range here. Your original trend line would have come like that, and this would have looked like a break and a retest, right? Or if you shifted that trend line to the outermost point, like I would have, here's your trend line break right here. Now price is starting to stall a little bit, right? Price is starting to stall a little bit. So let's see if we get another pullback, give us a high price to then get short. We drop down to the lower time frames, and you see here also, right? Not only did you get that trend line break, but you also got the cloud break here on the 15. Okay, strong move down. Now let's see if we get that pullback here and give us a high price opportunity to get short there. Let's see. Yeah, we're just shy of the D extension here on the sub fib. No, we might have hit it. Let's see. Yeah, we hit that D extension there, or 123.040. So we're looking for a new fib to pop in and see if we can get a retracement, right? See if we get a retracement. So into that Aussie dollar, right? See if we get price to pull back a little bit and give us a high price opportunity to get short. Something like that, right? Come back, retest the cloud, give us that high price there. So pound dollar, looking for similar action, looking for a pullback, and then we'll see if we get that opportunity to get short, place on stop above the high. You guys follow me there?
Yeah.
Cool deal. Miss Annette, welcome. Glad to have you. The way you turn on the cloud is you go over to your indicator section here, right? And then you search Ichimoku Cloud, right? And then that'll pop that onto your screen for you. I have it saved here in my frequently used indicators. So I just click the plus sign, but you search it and it'll pop up and you add that to your screen. All of our sessions are recorded, yes. You can find them in the Inner Circle back office. You can find those recordings and you can check them out there. You can also check them out on YouTube as well. All right. You follow me there, Ms. Annette?
Yes, I get it. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Very welcome. All right. Any other questions here on this pound dollar? No? Sweet. All right. Keep your eyes on these dollar pairs and dollar crosses as the news starts to unfold. Let's take a look at the euro dollar. So this one is a little interesting, right? Because of the positive news coming out of Europe, right? We're looking on the daily time frame, and that positive push still just pushed us. We're still inside this AB boundary here on this daily time frame, right? Still inside the AB boundary here, and we got some indecision. We got a positive push, but came back to normal. So now we want to see how that PMI data for the United States comes out, right? Indecision, could we see price push back down and break back below this weekly level that we closed above a couple weeks ago, right? And we're starting to stall out a little bit. Okay, so we want to see if price turns back over and gives us a retracement of any sort. All right, that's what we want to see. Got some indecision happening right now. Now, if that data comes in strong, we can see this A get taken out, right? And then we'll have to flip our fib to the other side, right? But even on the sub fib, we got an 80-20 scenario playing out currently. So we'll watch this closely to see what happens. If we push up, we hit the D extension on the sub fib. We'll look for a new AB boundary, new capital fib to form. If it turns over and presses down, we're still inside that AB boundary. Look for a take profit level at 97,744. Right? So two scenarios there from a daily time frame perspective that we'll keep our eyes on as we move through the coming weeks. All right, so let's drop down to the 4. On our 4 hour, we already got a 382, right? We already got that 382 hit here with this push down, and then we exploded back to the upside. Okay, so we're watching this range here to see how things play out and see what direction we get after the data. Okay, so here you can run your trend lines to the upside, like so. And then your inner trend line coming like that. So, right. There we go. Okay. This is how we're sitting here on the euro dollar on the 4 hour. Okay. So we want to see if price turns over, or right, do we get that last push to the upside, just like those other dollar crosses, right? Do we get one more push to the upside? This is on a higher time frame, but to hit that D extension, then get a fresh AB boundary there. So we'll watch that closely to see what happens. We're already starting to try to turn over, right? So here on the 1, we got an 80-20 scenario, right? So a little bit of indecision, okay? A little bit of indecision here. So we want to be patient and see how things play out for us, right? So we'll run our trend lines to the upside here on the 1. So boom, right? Then we got an inner trend line coming here. Right. So now we're waiting. Now we're waiting to see. Right. We've got an 80-20 scenario brewing there. We'll be patient, allow our confirmations to be met after the dust settles from the news. Right. If there's an emotional reaction, we'll see. Right. Do we get one more push to the upside here? And then a turnover. Okay. So that is our euro dollar, another 80-20 scenario that we want to keep our eyes on. Aussie dollar, pound dollar, euro dollar, all sitting in 80-20 zones, right? So we want to keep our eyes peeled on those to see if the dollar starts to pick up a little bit of strength here. All right. And then we'll have to watch the key zones at the bottoms of those ranges to see if we stall there or if we break out. All right. You guys follow me here on the euro dollar?
Yeah.
Sweet. I'm going to drop down, actually, let's see. That's our 5. Let's go to the 15. So the 15, right? See, we're hovering a little bit, right? Cloud ahead is pushing sideways, right? You see price just moving through the cloud here. Like a double bottom scenario here, right? So we'll see if price pushes back up to give us a clean opportunity on a cloud break, right? So be patient. Sideways action there, right? So nothing doing. All right, sweet. So that's the euro dollar. Let's take a look at the dollar yen. We'll come back out. And this one is always interesting because you got a ton of back and forth happening between the two. So there we go. So on the daily time frame here on this dollar yen, right, you already got a 50% retracement. You see price trying to turn over and press back to the upside. So if we do get that bullish action coming out of the United States, right, we could see price ultimately just push up to retest this 132.794 level, right? Maybe it gives us a deeper push. We'll see, but that's gonna be the next level that we retest, right? If we get this push in favor of the dollar. So we'll continue to watch that to see. This is already pushing to the upside, which we've been monitoring for a little bit now. All right, so we drop down to the 4. Take that out. Drop down to the 4, right? And this is that move to the upside here. Okay, so it'll put us on the 4-hour time frame at a 50% retracement. If we break that, then we could see price continue to rise for a little bit, right? But this one's already on the go to the upside, so not much doing there. We drop to the 1. You see that move a little bit more clearly here on that turnover and press to the upside. Let's drop down to our lowers and see if we have anything here. Nah. Nothing happening here on sub fibs. That one got taken out. Yeah, we got a lot of indecision here, right? We had the 80-20 scenario, we pushed down. Now we're just hovering. So nothing doing here on the lower time frame on the dollar yen. But ultimately we could continue this move to the upside. Like I said, if that news comes out positively for the dollar, meaning that those PMI survey results come out higher than expected, right? We'll see that. Now, if they come out more negative, lower than expected, right, we could see price start to plummet in favor of that yen. Okay, so that's the dollar yen. Not much happening there. Let's take a look at the dollar CAD. I have to do some updates here. Let's zoom out to our daily. Excuse the madness. Give me a second. Clean it up. Here we go. All right. So let's take that out. Take that out. Daily resistance. Take that out. And that's our support level. And there we sit. All right. We got a 50% retracement off the daily. And now we've just been ranging, right? We've just been ranging here. So we're at the bottom of the range now. We'll see if we start to creep back up to the top of the range. Joy's point from earlier, we got Canadian dollar news coming tomorrow. So this is another pair that's always interesting because you got a little bit of back and forth happening, right? Two relatively strong currencies. So we could get stuck in a range a little bit here. So we'll monitor this to see, right? But we're starting to get some indecision now at the bottom of that range. So we drop to the 4, zoom back out, and we'll run our fib off the low here. And then there, right? It's just choppy. So we'll take all those out. We'll start from the high and work our way down. There we go. All right, there we go. So This is where we sit. We got a 786 retracement, price pushed down. We're getting some consolidation. So the question just simply is, do we break out to the upside or do we break out to the downside? Right? What direction will we break out? Right? If we break out to the upside, we could be looking at 137.7007, retesting that previous high at that 786 retracement, potentially deeper, right? But if we break to the downside, we could be headed to the matching D extension around the 130 level. Okay, so that's really what we're looking at there. Not a ton on this dollar CAD right now, right? Just a tightly wound range, and we need a breakout in one direction or the other. All right, so not a ton doing there. We'll move on to the dollar Swiss and see what we have here. Let me clean this one up. This one I have not cleaned up that chart in a while, so we'll do that now. Come back to the daily. Now let's look. All right. So from a daily time frame perspective, this is a daily resistance there. We're just going to clean all this up real quick, good people. Broke through those levels. This is where we're sitting. Okay. Let's go back to the weekly. Yep. Weekly support, daily support there. All right. Great. So this is where we are. Okay. This is where we are. We got an 8-6 retracement off of this wick here, right? 8-6 retracement, and we're trying to get bullish, right? We got our swing low to form, 2 candles to the right, and we're starting to push to the upside. Now we know things coming out of Switzerland, right? That Swissy could start to get weak, kind of across the board. So we'll continue to monitor that to see how things flow. But starting to try to turn over, find support, and push to the upside. All right. So again, positive data for the dollar. We could see this continue to rise. If it's negative data, right, we could see it start to range a little bit. Not necessarily break below these key levels, though. Right. So that's just something to keep in mind, seeing as, like I said, the Swissy could continue to be relatively weak for the foreseeable future. All right. So on the 4, we'll run our fibs to the upside. We'll find, yeah, we'll run it off of here. I believe yep. We'll just track these all the way through. There we go. Okay, and you see this got taken out to the downside. So we'll start running that fib off the high. Like so. All right. This is where we sit here. We already got a 382. Price couldn't break out to the downside. Now we're trying to push back up. Okay. And we're pushing to the upside right now. All right. So let's drop down to the 1, see what we have there, see if we have something a bit cleaner to look at. Nah, not much. Right. Similar deal to the 4. 382 retracement. Price is trying to get bullish a little bit. Right. So we'll see if we make our way back up to retest this 94.051 level. Okay, something to pay attention to there. Let's drop down to our lower time frames because we could find or have some retracement opportunities that present themselves, right? So now we're pushing to the upside. We got a 786 retracement, so our matching the extension is at 92.592. Okay, so on this push to the upside, once we get here, we could ultimately push to this 92.917 as well. But as we get these higher prices on the lower time frames, we could have some intraday opportunities pop up later on in the day today, tomorrow, or throughout the week to give us a retracement, right? We can play the retracement on the lower time frame intraday scenario, or look for a low price to get long. All right. So right now, nothing doing, but just looking ahead for those future opportunities that could present themselves. So down here on the 5, not there. Not there. Came just shy of a 382 here, but this one could continue to rise, right? So just allow this one to go. Nothing doing on the dollar Swiss either, right? We'll allow these to be, and we'll look at other scenarios for other opportunities there, right? Any questions on these dollar pairs and dollar crosses that we covered? No? All right, cool deal. Let's take a look at this Euro CAD. I know we were talking about it earlier. Price is turning over, man. So a couple things. Let's come back all the way to the monthly time frame here. Right? Monthly time frame, we got a 618 retracement, and we're starting to get some indecision from a monthly time frame perspective, right? Decision, indecision. Let's see, right? All based on how the ECB takes the data, but we'll see coming into end this month and begin next month, see if we get a push down or if price continues to rise. Okay. But we could still have a relatively hawkish ECB. We'll see. Right. From a weekly time frame perspective, we're hovering at this weekly resistance level. It's a key zone for us. Okay. Key zone for us here. Right. And that's also in line with the 618 retracement. Right. So we want to watch this again to see if we stay below this level. That's going to be key. And this is that indecision that we saw on a monthly time frame. Okay, so we'll be watching these levels closely. Come down to the daily, and we're just hovering at this B boundary on the daily time frame. Tried to push up, couldn't break through. Now we're coming back down, retesting this previous daily resistance level, serving as support right now. It's going to be key, this level, right? If we break below this level, we got another level of support right here. Okay, but if we break below this level, right, we could be looking at some more downside movement. So we'll see how the market responds tomorrow to the Canadian dollar news, right? That's what's going to be key in this scenario, right? That's what's going to be key in this scenario. Let me see here. Oh, shoot. My apologies, everybody. Give everybody access to the microphone. All right, cool deal. Got everybody there. Benny, good morning, bro.
Good morning, Ryan. Good morning, everybody.
How you feeling, man?
Man, I'm back. I'm back from the dead.
Glad to hear it, dude.
I know I sent you that message early, but yeah, I'm good. I'm
good.
Yeah, I'm good, man. Can't keep a good man down.
Not at all. Not at all. Definitely gonna keep kicking. Cool deal, man. You got anything you got your eyes on? We're going to this EuroCAD now. You got anything that you guys got your eyes on from a short term or even a longer term perspective?
Last night I took a quick look at the Euro Aussie on the 4. But kind of just I haven't entered anything yet this week. Everything is kind of moseying along. You know, we get paid to wait. You know, sometimes you gotta sit on your hands. You know,
yep.
So my mentors always told me that, hey, when trading gets boring, you must be doing something right. So
that's a fact, man.
I guess I'm doing something right by being patient. You know, I really want to focus on making sure I stay involved in a lot of those bigger swings this year. So it's going to require a lot of patience. Yeah,
I'm with you on that 100%, man. I haven't entered anything either. We just went through those dollar pairs and dollar crosses. Got some 80-20 set up on the Aussie dollar, the Euro dollar, and the pound dollar. 4 hour, 1 hour, 15 minutes. So we're looking to see how the data comes out later on this morning and see if we get some cloud breaks and some trend line breaks for confirmation on the push to the downside. But outside of that, that's been pretty much it so far.
Yeah, for sure. I'm still keeping a strong bias on the euro, you know, the Aussie being at the market is rally. I know you covered that, and also the New Zealand, you know, so trying to get some low prices to get back involved. But, you know, and like you said, some 80-20 setting up, but it's just this is part of the job as a trader. Navigating the charts, making sure that you're prepared for when the setups come. That's part of your job. You know, it's not always clicking the buy and sell button, it's waiting for those moves to set up. There's no use in jumping in anything and getting whipsawed around when you can just sit and wait patiently for that bigger move to set up.
That's it, man. That's it. Like, really, when we talk about execution, right? You don't have to be in a trade all the time. This is for our newer folks that are with us. A lot of times you'll see, be it on YouTube or what have you, you got to trade. More trades doesn't equal more money, right? The right trades that meet your rules over time can equal more money, right? But you gotta ensure that those trades, those ideas meet your rules before you enter them. And sometimes, like now, you're gonna wait, right? And waiting, like Benny said, waiting is okay. Waiting, not trading, that's a decision, right? It's a decision that you have control over. So really taking ownership of the decisions that we make and ensuring that everything is in line with what we want to see and what we desire to see from a confirmation perspective. So that's huge, man. Appreciate that. I'll take a look at that Euro Aussie after we move from this Euro CAD.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, one of the things we do not trade for the sake of entertainment.
No, no.
You know, so that's one thing that you, especially for our newer members, that you want to be aware of, right? We just don't hit that buy or sell button just for the excitement of it. You know, we want to make sure that it makes sense and that we pick our spots.
Absolutely. And that for folks watching this anywhere, right? Our goal, right, to continue to be consistently profitable for us, but for you guys, is to help as many people as possible become consistently profitable traders, right? And in order to do that, you can't do this for entertainment, right? You got to have a goal, you got to have a mission, you got to have a purpose, right? So, yeah, I second that 100%, bro. Second that 100%. Reese says, say that again, Benny. Yeah, man. Right? It's not for entertainment, right? It's not for entertainment. We really want to help people learn this skill, and ultimately is changing the narrative about this industry, right? Because right now, and for an extended period of time, this industry has had a negative narrative surrounding it, right? Oh, it's a scam, it's gambling, all of these things. But it's only gambling, it's only a scam when you don't actually know what you're doing, right? And you don't have a consistent process that you can follow, right? That will ultimately allow you to be consistently profitable, right? So you got to learn the skill, and that takes time. New members, it takes time to learn the skill. You have to learn the information, then you have to take time to practice the information, right? Then you have to understand yourself, understand your thought process, how you think, why you think the way that you do, right? So that you can put rules in place to manage yourself, manage your personality, manage your emotions, right? We all have them. They won't go anywhere, but how do you manage them to ensure that you keep yourself in check when it's just you and this chart, right? We dig through all of those things, right? And we always say, the better person you become, the better trader you become, right? It's really all about the the internal work that happens. We can teach you how to read the charts, we can teach you the fib and all those things, but the internal work is really where it's at to be able to implement those skills that we teach you. Right? So your journey is your journey. Your path is your path. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. Right? There's folks that started before you, there's folks that started after you, there's going to be continued to be folks that start at some point. Their experiences are not and will not be your experiences. So you can't compare your journey to anybody else's. So allow yourself to go on your journey and own your journey, right? And take responsibility for your journey and your learning and your knowledge and how you retain the information and the practice and the time that you put in. And if you're willing to put in the time, the effort, and the energy that it's going to take, not that it might take, but that it's going to take, you'll see growth. You'll see progress. We got folks that have been with us almost 2 years now, right? And they can attest to this statement. If you're willing to put in the time, the effort, and the energy that it's going to take, you'll see progress. And that's what it's about. It's about growth. So I'll get off my soapbox there. But yeah, so this EuroCAD, right? We're hovering at this daily level. Okay. We come down to the 4. Zoom out. We got an 80-20 scenario still brewing here. Kind of a double top scenario, right? We got our high here, push just above, not able to get to the B extension, another high there. And we're looking to see, right? Are we able to break back below this daily support level and break this trend line? We need that, right? We need that. Then a pullback to confirm. That would be the preference, right? But like Benny said, right, it's still a bias on the euro, especially with the data came out this morning. But we got Canadian dollar news coming tomorrow, so we'll see how the market responds to that for this particular pair, right? Because we could even potentially see a push down to this support level and then see price bounce back to the upside. So we'll watch and we'll pay attention to see how the market responds to the data tomorrow, right? We got to be patient here. We'll see that break and see if we get that, and then see if the euro continues to gain its strength throughout the rest of the month. All right, so that's the 4-hour on the EuroCAD. Come down to the 1, more of the same. Right, we already got our 382, but we're just hovering in this range. We need to see that break. Okay, we need to see that break.
Hey, Ryan.
Yes, sir.
Hey, so for example, right, when we talk about patience on this, so we have traders who are, hey, I only want to trade with the trend, right? So if your overall bias is bullish on the euro, that means you're going to sit and wait, right, for that trade to come down in the zone that makes sense if you're following the fib rules, right? If you're following those sweet spots that we teach, you're going to have to wait. Now that could be a week, that could be 2 weeks, that could be a day, but it's just, I can't, since we're at the beginning of the year, right? I can't say it enough about how important it is to be patient. If your setup is not there, it's not there, right? And it all comes down to your rules. Don't draw a trade plan and then don't stick to it, right? So mm-hmm. where we are, especially like back on that 4, right? If you're saying, hey, I'd like to enter off the 4, I like longer term swing trades, that's not in a position for you to buy right now if your sweet spot is at 61.8 on the current fib. Right, so you would need to wait for that to come down for you to look for your buying opportunity. So patience is key. Patience is key to winning at this game. Yep, you're gonna give that up, let that come down and say, hey, it's correcting right now. I'm bullish on the euro. I needed to come down into my zone. That's it.
That's it. That's it. So you'd wait on that. And here's the beautiful thing. That's okay. That's okay, right? But that's also another reason, right? That's why we mark up all of the pairs and we go through all of the pairs so we see what the market looks like from a holistic perspective, right? Sometimes there won't be anything on anything. Or you might have one trade for the week. You might have 4 trades for the week, right? That's okay. It's okay. It's okay to be patient. It's okay.
Or 0.
Or 0. Or 0. That's awesome, Reese. It started, I thought I didn't have patience, but today I've changed. That's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Have a great day, Michelle. Let's see. My trend line here on the 4, Reese. I think that's what it's asking for. Let's, I came off of this low here. Zoom out so you can see it, right? Came off of this low here for the trend line on the EuroCAD. All right. So, Joe, you didn't miss it. we still breaking it down. You got a 80-20 scenario here on the 4, right? We want to see if we get this trend line break and break of this previous resistance, now support level, right? And a retest for the continuation to the downside, right? So we got to be patient to see how the data comes out tomorrow. Overall, there is a bullish outlook on the euro, but we'll see if we get a retracement on this particular pair, depending on how the news comes out tomorrow. All right, we come down to the 1, right? And this is what we need to see: break of that daily support and a break of that trend line with the retest. See if we get short, maybe even just back down to that 144 level. We'll see how the market responds, right? So that's where we're sitting right now. That's where we're sitting. We got to wait on that. Got to wait on that. You're welcome. 145, 969. How you got short around here? That's a pretty nice entry there, Joy. All right, off the 80-20 scenario on the 4. I like it. I like it. Yep, just continue to manage that thing.
Yeah, and then I seen it break the 5 this morning, and that was before everything. And so I got the 3rd position at 45,253. And then that's why I asked you that question, because I'm going off the 4 hour, just down to the deep position. So I didn't know whether or not, just a brace for a long withdraw, a long pullback, or just a hold steady. So I'm just practicing on my patience.
Yeah, for sure, and continue to monitor that too, right? That's great entry off that push up right on the 4, and now you got price moving down. So just monitor your trade, right? Maybe move that stop loss and the profit a little bit off the original entries, right? In the event that you do get a pullback like that, or right, if you're trying to sit through it, right, just be aware that we could see that euro pick up some strength after that Canadian dollar news. So just be aware of that.
Okay, good.
All right, love it. I love it. Let's take a look at this this euro Aussie, and we will wrap it up there. Yeah. So euro Aussie, interesting, right? That stock market that's bullish, right? Stock market that's bullish. Could see this one will be interesting too, right? Bullish stock market, bullish euro. We'll see how this fares. But we tried to break out, came back, retested, and trying to get a little bit bullish now, right? So we'll see if we're able to push off this level and give us a push back to the upside. We've already got a 50% retracement off the fib to the upside. So now we just want to see how this pair continues to move. As we come down to the 4, we had this range that we're looking at that we needed to break out of. Pushed out, we came back into that range. Now we'll see if we push back out of it. Back to the upside. You bullish or bearish on this, Benny?
I'm neutral to bullish. Just
Okay.
keeping a close eye on it because I've seen that reaction. So
Yeah,
it'll break sooner or later. Something's gonna give.
something. That's for sure. Right. Trying to get bullish now. We'll see if we're able to continue to ride to the upside here. We got a 50% retracement here on the 4, right? Matching the extension. If that holds, is here at 161. We'll see if we break through these levels to get there, right? But trying to get bullish now from a lower time frame perspective. We drop down to the 1, right? And here's the maybe. Thought I had a fib running here. There we go. All right, here we are on the 1. Nice 786 retracement, right? Now we'll see if we're able to get long out of this, off this 1 hour. All right, see if we can get long. Been consolidating for a bit through yesterday. See if we're able to break out of this range here and start to get bullish. Okay. So looking at deep retracement, matching the extension is above that weekly resistance at 160. Okay. So we'll see if we get that push there. All right. On our lower time frames, let's go to the 15. All right, we're just breaking through the cloud here on the 15. Out. I'm gonna run a fib off the high here. There we go, right? Fresh P boundary. I'm breaking through the cloud now, right? Broke through, trying to push up, right? So we could be in for a move. We got our lagging span above price, got a bullish cloud ahead, right? So we'll see if we're able to get long here and make this move to the upside. Okay. That's the Euro Aussie, right? See if we get this turn. Trend line. Oops. Like so. We did get that trend line break right there. Okay. So trying to get long there. All right, so that's the Euro Aussie. That's what we're looking at. A deep retracement on the 1. Let's see if we're able to get long back up to this daily level and then beyond. Questions on the Euro Aussie? No. Questions on anything that we covered this morning? No. Cool deal. Benny, anything before we wrap it up, bro?
No, sir. Great session, man. Just continue to be patient. Wait for your setups, man. Had to be. You have to wait in the bush, right? Wait in the bush, right? Until you see your setup, and then you go after it.
That's it, man. All right, good people. We'll be back at it. This week we're gonna stick to the morning sessions this week, right? Had a question in the Discord. If we want to stick to the morning sessions or bring the evening sessions back, we want to stick to the morning sessions, right? We got some positive feedback from the sessions last week, so we're gonna run with that again this week. give us a little bit more testing there, and then we'll make a determination on what we'll do from a longer term perspective. All right. So morning sessions this week. We'll be back at it tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, with my awesome partner, Mr. Benny Allen. We'll get back at it, good people. Continue, right? Let's continue to engage in the Telegram. I mean, in the Discord, right? Post your ideas, post your homework for new folks going through the training for the first time, second time, third time. Post your homework, right? We'll get you the feedback in there as well. All right. Till tomorrow, everybody. Yes.
Hey, Benny, just a quick question. This is Brandy. I've been gone for a little bit.
Yeah.
So there's no Asian session for right now?
Yeah, we're testing pre-New York sessions only. We have some requests and we want to do some live trading, right? So market moves the most during the pre-New York session. So this is the second week of us testing these New York sessions. We're looking for live trade setups, live opportunities for us to trade live. So just New York sessions this week.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, good people. Have an awesome, awesome day. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Peace.
Thank you.